right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining SugarCRM and Magic Software's Data Mastery Best Practices webinar today on March 12th. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hear from our industry experts as they explain how a strong integration engine can turn your data into revenue. So today, our panel consists of Christian Wettre, our Chief of Staff. Christian runs SugarCRM's vertical market strategy. You'll also hear from Matt Marum. He runs our ISV partnership program and SugarCRM's official marketplace, Sugar Outfitters, with over 12 years of experience with sugar. And Brian Pitoniak of Magic Software. Brian has over 15 years experience helping companies streamline operations and increase revenue through business process automation, application integration, and enterprise mobility. So very excited to have these guys here today to teach you a bit about data integration. And with that, I will pass it over to Matt.
Great, thank you, Julia. So topic of today's webinar is data mastery. So why haven't we mastered all our data yet? We all know that we need to do it. So why is it so hard? Well, I was reading a report recently that the average, large enterprise has over 500 business applications. If we focus in on manufacturing or a manufacturing company or a distribution company, that ecosystem of apps might look something like this. You've got all different systems that you use to run your sales team and your CRM, your finance operation out of your ERP, your warehouse, your inventory management systems. These are often reflective of not only do you have all these different systems that have important enterprise data and customer information in them, you often have sort of teams built around them that get kind of create silos, not only data silos of customer information or enterprise data, but those teams, they don't work together. They don't collaborate well together. And so being able to, we've always talked about for years about building kind of that single source of truth or a 360-degree view of a customer. And, I think that is really important because when you have that, your teams are able to operate in a more interoperable way. They're able to operate more collaboratively. And that's really important for a distributor or a manufacturer because you've got customers and suppliers that you're interacting with in a variety of different ways. And they're expecting you to work like a team, to be an interoperable organization. Next slide. So why haven't we achieved interoperability yet? Well, there's a bunch of different IT challenges that I've heard customers run into. One, it doesn't really matter if you've got if you've got that single source of truth, if the systems that you've used to build that aren't resilient. You've got to make sure that you can run your business properly without the system going down. It's kind of pointless. The effort is all lost, right? There's an enormous amount of administration effort that can go into integrating all these different systems, and so that can be a real challenge for an IT organization. There's just the cost of if you've got 500 different applications that you use to run your business, you're changing those applications all the time, and there's additional costs, incremental costs to integrate each new application. You've got to be able to maintain or manage that cost. A lot of
Sorry about that.
Sorry. A lot of manufacturers, distributors, you got legacy systems that it's one thing when you have a modern SaaS application with an API that's easy to integrate with. When you're dealing with a legacy system that doesn't really have an API, how can you reach out and get that data and create that interoperability? You've got a variety of tools that IT uses, low-code tools, but a lot of them are built for a specific purpose, right? You've got a low-code tool you might use to build websites. You've got a low-code tool like in Sugar today with Sugar BPM, which is great for automating workflow within CRM. It's not purpose-built to reach out to other systems and integrate. And then you've got of course, a variety of challenges around security and compliance, making sure that you're operating in a secure and compliant way. But the value of interoperability is that, according to Accenture, is that companies that achieve high interoperability, that have mastered their data, that have advanced analytics and insights, their revenue grows 6 times faster than organizations with low interoperability. So Sugar, we are excited to have a strategic partnership with Magic Software as a vendor that helps us deliver on the promise of mastering your data and delivering great analytics and insights. So with that, I'll pass it to Brian and Christian to talk a bit about Magic.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Matt. Yeah, so for those that haven't heard of Magic before, just a little bit of background. Magic is a global partner of Sugar. We have a presence in over 50 countries and really helping thousands of customers around the world. We've had a successful partnership with Sugar for over 10 years now, providing customers access to real-time data from any source within the organization. And really our goal is to enable Sugar users at the end of the day to make informed, proactive, data-driven decisions. Here we go. So, the topic of today's webinar is talking about mastering data. And before you can master your data, you need to be able to access it. And as Matt mentioned, this requires connecting to various internal and external data sources that could be on-prem systems, it could be cloud systems, it could be, very, very, old legacy data sources as well. So you need to be able to connect with all of these and not only provide that connection, but also automate, all the processes between these applications and data sources. So for this, we provide our flagship product, Magic XPI. Magic XPI is a code-free, thanks, Julie. Magic XPI is a code-free component-based business process automation solution, which allows customers to seamlessly connect Sugar to any of their line of business applications and also to any data source, including databases, flat files, web services, and as we're talking about with data management, IoT data as well. So Magic's been assisting manufacturers with data visualization, integration, and process automation for over 35 years now. As mentioned, Magic XPI, our integration platform, features a large library of adapters and components to handle any system or data source within the manufacturing ecosystem. We have a deep specialization in many of the common ERP systems used today by manufacturers, and we have extensive expertise in automating other manufacturing specific processes, not only around ERP and CRM, but between CRM and manufacturing execution systems, supply chain systems, product lifecycle management, warehouse, and of course the shop floor and IoT data that's there as well. So when we're talking about integration, the most common starting point for manufacturers is usually going to be the ERP and CRM. Magic delivers dozens of ERP and CRM projects a year, and both our experience with our service team, as well as the large adapter library that we have in XPI, allow us to create blueprints for a lot of the common ERP integration endpoints. This allows companies to really overcome that initial ERP integration hurdle, which tends to be at the beginning of really any CRM implementation, and provides those companies a predictable cost and also a predictable implementation schedule as well. Magic also allows these companies to easily expand Sugar within their organization and really maximize their investment in Sugar. So we do this by continually providing Sugar users with up-to-date live data from multiple different data sources. We enable, and so we'll talk about it in a success story later, new divisions, new regions within that organization to easily onboard quickly by, again, overcoming the hurdle of integrating to their disparate different ERP systems. And then at the end of the day, providing that organization a centralized location for all of their sales data within Sugar from any of these disparate ERPs.
Thanks, Brian. So as Julia said, I run the manufacturing strategy for Sugar, and core to that strategy is that we really want to be the CRM for ERP. And if we're going to deliver on that promise to our customers, what we have to do is we have to make ERP integration easier, less expensive, easier to maintain, less expensive and easier to own and upgrade over time. So part of that is that we need to come to you with a point of view on how should it be. When you come to us and want CRM and you also have an ERP system, we want to meet you halfway and say, this is how it should be done. This is our point of view on basically how the integration can bring the most value to your users. So we have, with Magic, developed blueprints on how do we connect SugarCRM information to, or how do we connect the ERP information to various places inside of Sugar. So whether it's Oracle or Epicor or SysPro or Infor, we have a point of view that more quickly can then connect all that ERP information to Sugar, so that we could bring it to your marketers and your sellers and your service people so they could be more valuable participants with your customers in turn. So Brian's going to go through kind of what does that look like. We have a couple of examples of blueprint points for a couple of ERP systems. You get a sense of where we start with.
Excellent. Thank you, Christian. So, of course, the dog always wants to pop up at the exact right time. So, as mentioned, Magic XPI features adapters for a lot of the most common and really the most complex ERPs that we see in the manufacturing space. So one we work with quite often is Oracle JD Edwards. This adapter that we have is Oracle validated for JD Edwards Enterprise 1 and allows us to integrate through any of the several methods JD Edwards provides, including their out-of-the-box business functions. So it doesn't, require the end user to do any sort of customization within JD Edwards. We just connect with it out of the box. And really what you see here is the visual data mapper, which exposes all of the business objects within JDE. So leveraging this visual interface combined with our team's extensive experience with JD Edwards and kind of ERP integration in general, we can provide, as Christian mentioned, a standardized blueprint of the common integration points between Sugar and JD Edwards.
And the cool thing about that, as we kind of look at this one and this SAP, is that there's no code involved. The fact that Magic has built the connectors to Oracle JD Edwards, for instance, and then we have the standardized mapping and the transformations right out of the box, that allows it to be a completely code-free environment. So most of our organizations that might have JD Edwards and Sugar, they will have some set of user-defined field in both systems. But since the connector is already there and initial mapping is there, it's really just a matter of drag and drop mapping for like extending that to a little bit of more user-defined fields.
Exactly. Yeah. So the great part again about this data mapper is that it is, not just connecting with the out-of-the-box business objects and fields. It can reach out, to your ERP system and actually bring in, any customized objects, any customized fields that you've added to your ERP. And again, you can see, with this SAP example up against the JD Edwards one, that that interface is going to look exactly the same. So with JD Edwards, we're able to connect with the out-of-the-box business functions. With SAP, our certified SAP adapter allows us to do a bidirectional connection with SAP standard methods. So those would be BAPIs and IDOCs and RFC calls. But what you can really again point out here is that despite the fact that SAP and JD Edwards are very different in terms of the types of interfaces that they provide, when we bring them into Magic XPI and our visual data mapper interface, we are standardizing that integration methodology. So this reduces risk, reduces the implementation time and a cost, of course, and again enables us, with Sugar to provide these integration blueprints for SAP and other ERPs. So we went into just one slide back, but I guess we kind of talked about it a little bit already. So we had gone into detail with JD Edwards and SAP, but of course those are definitely not the only ERPs that we work with. Christian mentioned already a lot of the other common ERPs that we see, especially within the manufacturing space. Again, it could be the Epicor stack, it could be Profit 21 or Eclipse. We see a lot of systems based off of the IBM, iSeries, System I, AS400. So this includes, JD Edwards World, for example, the Infor stack, whether it be Sightline or LN. We talked about Oracle JD Edwards already, but we also work with the newer Oracle Cloud Stack, as well as other legacy Oracle systems like EBS, and then of course their cloud NetSuite package as well. We work with Sage. We're extremely experienced with SysPro, and then we come across less common systems like TrueLinks and others. And really, the point is that even if you don't see, your ERP listed, here on this list, again, because Magic brings a Swiss Army knife approach and a large library of technology adapters, it allows us to connect with pretty much any ERP system in some fashion, depending on what that ERP provides.
So ERP is clearly super important, and here at Sugar, sometimes we like to say flippantly, like we like to turn ERP information into money for our sales reps and our sales reps organizations. But when you look at investing into a data integration tool such as Magic, you might want to do more than just point-to-point integration between ERP and CRM, and bringing value to your sellers and bringing value to your customers as you go to undergo digital transformation projects. You need to bring all those data points, or so many of those data points that Matt spoke about in the beginning. You need to bring them possibly into customer portals, bring them into CRM systems for your sellers. So there's so many other use cases that you set yourself up for. For instance, like here, we're talking about supply chain use cases, having insight into inbound logistics, outbound logistics, having insight to what's happening in e-commerce. What are your customers buying through your various e-commerce portal? How do you connect your ERP product catalog to your e-commerce portal so they have one unified product information system? So many different use cases that having a integration strategy sets you up to do successfully, that then helps turn all that information into revenue for your organization.
Thank you. And just to dig into that again a little bit more, is that you hear us talking about not just integration and again moving this data from point A to point B, but really automating business processes as well. So again, talking about supply chain and kind of what that could mean to your customers. You look at the RMA process, for example, and really the ability to automate the various different steps that have to happen between tracking that order through Sugar, the order details and processes going on within ERP, your third-party logistics providers. All of that needs to be coordinated a lot of times in real time. So being able to do that, enable that streamlined, seamless process for your customers, provides a tremendous amount of value. And when we're kind of diving deeper into manufacturing specific use cases, another one that we run into quite commonly is the product lifecycle management systems. So not only are there various types of PLMs available, but again, same as with supply chain and e-commerce, there's other systems involved. So this needs to be coordinated between PLM, between ERP, and then CRM can be brought in as well. And some of the benefits that CRM brings, kind of to the PLM process is enabling monitors and dashboards so that users can see kind of what's going on in terms of engineering change orders and product updates. We can provide UI or digital forms for data enrichment. So we've seen a lot of times with customers when they're going from BOM to creating an item, there's attributes that don't exist. They need an interface to be able to provide those, so we can add those attributes, add context, manage that again within CRM. And at the end of the day, really providing these users with real-time updates on product status, which is very valuable when you're thinking about am I going to be able to deliver this order on time to the strategic customer. And then taking things one step further, again, for manufacturers, we can connect Sugar all the way down to the shop floor. So we can do this by integrating to a manufacturing execution system that they might have, or just going and actually accessing that IoT sensor data directly from an OPC server or some other method that they're leveraging to collect that IoT data. So, making this data available to a visualization platform like Sugar really enables manufacturers to implement efficient inventory management and production planning. They can leverage AI, driven predictive maintenance, and really facilitates that, better coordination between sales and production, which is, very important for manufacturers.
We wanted to present this little bit of a proof point. And here's, kind of a little bit of a quote from Deloitte of how if you invest in analytics and bring a culture of analytics into your organization, you're more likely to exceed your business goals. If you enable your people to have the data that they need to make decisions on a daily basis without spending incredible amounts of time hunting for it, you're going to meet your organization's goals. There's another quote that we didn't put up here, but Forrester did some research saying that an average sales rep spends about 43 hours per month just looking for information, going into various systems to look up information for customers, to look into their ERP system, to look into logistics systems. And it's an enormous win, one, if you could bring this to the fingertips of the salespeople. But as more and more of you do digital transformation projects where you have portals and you allow your customers to do self-service, if you can help your customers service themselves and bring that information to them 24/7, whenever they need it, you're going to provide a better customer experience. And that customer experience is going to result in you meeting your business goals. So it's a worthwhile effort, and that's what we just want to point out. It's not too hard to prove the ROI on these type of efforts.
Excellent. So thank you, Christian. And so obviously to this point, we've been really focusing heavily on integration scenarios, but integration is really the kind of step one in terms of implementing true data management. So we've already provided several examples of the value to any organization and removing manual tasks, eliminating dual entry, enabling process automation. But for data management, you still need to address the situation that Matt pointed out at the start of our presentation. So you're dealing with data from dozens of external and internal systems, as well as potentially billions of bytes of IoT data from your shop floor. So this data lives in multiple locations and it's in multiple different formats. And because of this, it's difficult or impossible to manage holistically. It is normalized into a consistent format. And there's little to no context for that data. So meaning the sales data isn't correlated to production or to supply chain data. So since that data is so scattered, it doesn't really lend itself to any sort of a robust analytics or data management practice. Any reporting that you do or can do is going to be potentially limited to, again, that small set of data, again, without the context of other departmental data. And really the bottom line is you can't really unlock the true potential value this data can bring your organization. So to help organizations overcome this challenge, moving from integration, Magic, implemented and offers a full data management and analytics platform. So we leverage our powerful XPI integration tool as the edge component. Leveraging this, you can access data from, again, any data source, whether it be your internal IT systems, again, third-party sources such as suppliers or distributors or customers, and of course, bring in and start to work with that very valuable IoT data from your shop floor. Our solution allows you to push huge amounts of structured and unstructured data into our cloud data lakehouse solution. This data can then be normalized, and most importantly, you can start to contextualize this data again against data coming in from multiple different departments and sources. So this enables really a much richer and broader source of analytics and machine learning. Then this data is now available to Sugar to enable more comprehensive KPI dashboards, reporting, alerts, and likewise. So really, what does this all mean to an organization? So we, of course, talked to a lot of manufacturers, and they talk to us a lot about the various different challenges that they're facing today. For example, in conversations with a floor mat manufacturer, they talk to us about, they're looking to separate themselves from the competition by moving to kind of a new trend in the space these days, which is mass customization. They want to offer their customers a wide variety of options and specific dimensions, materials, cushioning, layers, design. Again, offering them that selection, that their other customers can't, or excuse me, their competitors can't match. But in trying to implement this, it's creating huge difficulties in meeting delivery commitments. They're struggling with order management and being able to provide customers with accurate tracking information. And that lack of order visibility and the manual processes that they're still dealing with are leading to some big order backlogs for them. We've also talked to a fire alarm manufacturer, and they have some very unique distribution challenges trying to manage last minute orders with contractors that don't want to hold on to inventory. So they really need very, very precise coordination between, their production and delivery, because delays in installation means that the, building owners, their customers, now need to go out and spend money, hire, round the clock fire watch personnel, until the permits are obtained. So again, a huge issue in terms of, this costing this money to their customers, and something that they're looking to overcome. And then within any of these customers, we also talk with the research and development departments, and they themselves are facing considerable challenges. So they need to ensure that the company's products remain innovative, compliant, and competitive. And they really need, access, again, to real-time production and sales data. Without that, they can face limited visibility into material consumption. They don't have an ability to address, end-of-life component issues, and it delays their response time when dealing with component shortages, which can has a huge ripple effect down the supply chain. So really providing real-time access to data, across these functional departments can help overcome these challenges and really bring a lot of benefits to manufacturers in a lot of different ways. So for sales teams, this means first and foremost providing an enhanced customer experience. So this could again be through offering more customized product options, or just improving the buying process, as Christian mentioned, offering customers with more self-service options as well. Salespeople can then, provide customers with more accurate delivery estimates. Again, customers can get those real-time order updates. They can be notified proactively of potential delays. And then the sales team and management really benefit from, more accurate data-driven forecasting. As talked about with distribution, it's really about aligning production and sales with your supply chain. So you can significantly reduce costs by using your resources more efficiently, creating tighter coordination between suppliers and distributors, and enable a more responsive supply chain, again by having the right people have the right information at the right time. And then again, talking about R&D, they can benefit from proactive material planning. So if they have access to real-time data on material consumption and supply chain status, R&D can be more proactive in planning for future material needs. Again, keeping product delays and delivery delays from happening by aligning R&D with real-time production and sales data. The kind of company can be better about allocating their resources more efficiently, allows them to focus on projects that have the greatest impact, and they know that these projects have the greatest impact because they have the data to back that up. And then finally and additionally, you can enable timely responses to end-of-life issues. So you can create alerts allowing companies to have take preemptive action and identify suitable replacements. So again, they need to support these products, but the componentry within those products can reach end of life. Having notifications around that again keeps you from leading to some major issues with delivery and not meeting customer expectations. And these are just some examples of the type of proactive steps and really decisions manufacturers can make if they're leveraging data to increase operational efficiency and at the end of the day improve the customer experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. And I just want to say, this isn't all theory. We've partnered with Magic successfully at many customers. So just to tell one quick story here, we've got a global industrial equipment manufacturer that's a joint customer of ours that we've successfully integrated all their different regions into a single SugarCloud instance. They've got over 5 different ERP systems, SAP and Sightline. And not only were we able to integrate all these different systems, we were able to handle some really complex data residency requirements. So for their Chinese region, they needed to have a Sugar instance and environment installed on premise because of some data residency requirements there. And we're using Magic to integrate that Sugar environment with the global SugarCloud instance and drive automation between all these different systems really effectively, really efficiently, and really successfully. And this has all been delivered through Sugar Professional Services, so working directly with Sugar in partnership with Magic, through one vendor. So that's an incredible story.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt. And again, just to recap, in terms of some of the key values that we're bringing for manufacturers. So first and foremost, as we've talked about, Magic's large library of connectors and adapters, so allow you to overcome any integration challenge. We talked about not just doing this data movement and synchronization, but true business process automation. So we not only allow you to automate these processes, but monitor these processes so you can stay on top of the health and status of your operations. You can remain flexible in adapting to any changes in your IT landscape. So again, these organizations have dozens, if not more, of different applications. They could be on premise, they could be in the cloud, and there could constantly be changing. So you're adding new fields, attributes to specific applications, or you're replacing applications outright. So organization that can be flexible and in terms of accommodating these changes, creating new business processes around them in a cost-effective manner, really will benefit quite a bit. So we help, of course, with these capabilities to streamline your CRM implementation. So overcoming that ERP integration hurdle, allowing you to incorporate additional processes with various different other manufacturing systems, as we've talked about. And then when you have this integration in place, you can again move towards a true data management practice. So you can again have all this data collected, brought into a centralized location, and then have that type of actionable data visibility again across functional different departments. And all of this, of course, very importantly in the manufacturing space is backed by strong security, supporting any of the latest encryption standards.
Just if I could add one point to this, just highlighting that the certified APIs, there's a lot of value in that Magic is maintaining the connectors to the various systems. So I think all of us know that systems upgrade from time to time. Here at Sugar, we upgrade our versions from time to time. The various ERP systems and other business systems they upgrade from time to time. And and whenever there is such an upgrade, there's some disruption. So having Magic here, maintaining those connectors, preemptively upgrading the connectors so they're aware of all those upgrades and let your integration continue seamlessly is a ton of value. And I want to stress that a little bit. It's something to really look out for.
All right, Matt, Christian, Brian, thank you so much for the information. I wanted to open up the chat box and questions to the audience. This is your chance. Anything sparked your interest or any questions throughout the presentation? I do have a couple questions. So Brian, question for you. Can Magic do real-time integrations?
Thank you, Julian. Absolutely. So, as we talked about a few times, it's really about providing, manufacturers and customers with flexibility. So Magic provides a single platform to, accommodate and handle, true real-time, triggered processes from a variety of different systems, but also combine that with, near real-time, polling processes as well. So things that are going to happen every minute or every 5 minutes or every hour. And then, of course, combine that again with the larger, bulk processes that you're going to do maybe daily or weekly or monthly. So any of those scenarios can all be handled with an XPI.
Matt, question for you. So I'm ready to purchase Magic. So how can I do that? Can I purchase that through my Sugar rep?
Yeah, I think it can start with a conversation with your Sugar sales rep, or if you're working with a Sugar partner, talking with them, and getting, working. I think the best course of action is working with whatever services team that you've used for your CRM implementation. Work with them, and absolutely, you can buy Magic and have that managed directly through your Sugar sales rep or a Sugar partner.
Excellent, which I think takes us to our next slide to learn more. So as Matt mentioned, if you're a current Sugar customer, contact your CSM or Sugar partner for more information. If you're not, you can contact sales@sugarcrm.com to go into a deeper dive if you'd like to see another demo. And then we've got contact information for both Magic and Sugar CRM should you need that. Okay, so that is the end of our slides. Thank you all again for joining.
And thank you everybody for attending. Thank you customers for attending. Thank you, Brian, for Magic being such a great partner for so many years. We really enjoyed working with you. Really much appreciated.
Absolutely. Likewise.